And we are back again. Today we are doing a big story about Big Push. I'm very excited about Big Push because, as you can see, the president promised that Ghana will be a construction site for the next 4 years. And when we go everywhere, we see it from the Winneba stretch to the Volta stretch to the northern Kumasi, everywhere. The whole country is under construction. Now, we woke up this morning to find a very interesting report. Well, they call it a scandal, but I don't see any scandal in it. I just look at the story and I'm like, where's the scandal? I don't see it. But then again, Fourth Estate published a report. Well, they claim it's a scandal. So yeah, we'll say it's a scandal. But in reality, there isn't any scandal. I personally don't see what the scandal is. Now, they call it the sole sourcing factory, and where they tell the story of about 78 contracts given to completely sole sourced, where they didn't follow. According to them, the current road minister didn't follow due diligence, and it goes contradictory to what the president promised in his manifesto. So now I want us to look at what exactly one, the president said, two, what was said in opposition, three, I really want us to delve deeper into the report. And we'll do a breakdown here where I will tell you why, from my perspective, I see no wrongdoing here. So let's first watch what the road minister had to say, because the road minister went straight to Parliament to address Parliament, because once you address Parliament, you've addressed the whole of Ghana. So let's take a look at what he said, and we will come back.
President Mohammed's government has taken steps to improve the procurement process. And as a matter of fact, as I said, I'm not having a go at our colleagues on the other side. I say that today as a minister, almost the 110 billion cedis worth of projects we inherited were all procured through sole sourcing. I don't blame them, Mr. Speaker. I sat on this side of the House not too long ago when the people of Suame were demonstrating against the respected former leader, Honorable Chairman Sabonsu. I supported the fact that we should procure the Suame Interchange through sole sourcing because it was urgent and we needed to do it. When the motorway was awarded to Motor Angels, a foreign company, and they couldn't raise the financing, I was one of the first people to say that let's terminate the work and get a Ghanaian contractor to do it. In this House, we also agreed that that project should also be awarded on sole sourcing to the contractor Maripoma. Mr. Speaker, I say this simply because the impression is that when we were in opposition, we said nothing about sole sourcing was good, and when we were now in government, we are doing the opposite. Mr. Speaker, what I presented to you today shows that everything has to be done in context. What I will say here, Mr. Speaker, majority, all Big Push projects are on site and are ongoing. And by the end of 2027, Mr. Speaker, you will see a lot of completed road projects that would enhance our economy, make our roads safer. And this is why I tell colleagues, let us work together to make sure that we protect the Big Push. Let us not fall for any agenda of all that we are doing with regard to the Big Push project are already on our website, so we are not concealing any information in terms of the description of the project, the scope of work, the name of the contractor, the day the contract starts, and when it's expected to be completed is there. So nobody has gotten a scoop, and indeed, Mr. Speaker, there is no scandal about the Big Push. Big Push project was approved by this House, and we shall make sure that it delivers to the people of our country. Mr. Speaker, I say this as a matter of fact. I am not responding to anybody except those who are falsifying information on social media. Mr. Speaker, the NDC did not award over 70 billion cedis worth of work under the Big Push. Indeed, we said 54 billion of that was for new works, and then the 23 projects were projects that we inherited, costing another 14.8 billion. And indeed, Mr. Speaker, there's spurious information online that 76%
Honorable
of Big
Minister,
Push
just go ahead with your
projects
statement.
were sole sourced is also false. only about 44% of those projects were procured through sole sourcing. And I state on record, Mr. Speaker, we are making progress as a house and as a country to make sure that much of our procurement is done competitively. But that is why I'm saying that those who claim to have done this so-called analysis based on data we submitted to them freely didn't help the country. Because if they did due diligence, they would have known that those percentages they put outside were pure fabrications and false. And indeed, Mr. Speaker, President Mohammed's government has taken steps to improve the procurement process. And as a matter of fact, as I said, I'm not having a go at our colleagues on the other side. I say that today as a minister, almost the 110 billion cedis worth of projects we inherited were all procured through sole sourcing. I don't blame them, Mr. Speaker. I sat on this side of the house not too long ago when the people of Suame were demonstrating against the respected former leader, Honorable Chairman Nsawam. I supported the fact that we should procure the Suame Interchange through sole sourcing because it was urgent and we needed to do it. When the motorway was awarded to Motor Angels, a foreign company, and they couldn't raise the financing, I was one of the first people to say that let's terminate the work and get a Ghanaian contractor to do it. In this house, we also agreed that that project should also be awarded on sole sourcing to the contractor Maripoma. Mr. Speaker, I say this simply because the impression is that when we were in opposition, we said nothing about sole sourcing was good, and when we were now in government, we are doing the opposite. Mr. Speaker, what I presented to you today shows that everything has to be done in context. What I will say here in
16, the Public Procurement Authority had 622 sole source requests. 579 of that number, 77 of that number, 98% were approved, and there were 25 rejections. There were 592 requests made for restricted tenders, and 587, 99.15%, were approved, and there were 5 rejections. A grand total of 0 savings was made through the procurement process. In 2017, our first year in government, 394 sole sourcing requests were made, out of which 223, that is 56.6%, were approved, and 171, 43.6%, were rejected. There were 346 requests for restricted tenders, and 167, 48%, were approved, and 179, 52%, were rejected. Now here is the interesting part. The savings made over the year as a result amounted to 145 million cedis, $142 million, 1.8 million euros, and 22,400 pounds sterling. As my old mathematics teacher used to say, you cannot argue with figures, and such figures surely provide the incentive to open up government procurement.
Cocoa Road Projects Company Yunkwenye Bako Mienu Wakane Bwobomua 83 million cedis Tetisikano 830 billion Ena Bawumia Asanso Diama Onoani Nuya Company and also so sourcing Ayeni Sumuasi Bredie Yadi Sikani Biato Toso Auditor General Ayeni Rishimu ene won krata na ye akyerem wa ha o kan Auditor General performance audit reports on Cocoa Road projects ya e kire se Ghana ya hwere sika moho miensa kire se sika ya de ama ba wo mianu aso mfa anya sa Cocoa Road through so sourcing no enka ye betumi aye na 3 times cheaper the price instead of 83 million no Auditor General say enka ye ma ho kwan sa afoforo me pribia enka de be 20 million e be ye. And so chrononti peseminkumunyanti sikeni brenti uraba wumia afa projects in Nadia, more no any new company, true so sourcing or minor boka, report yaba, or moon to minka once. And on Nanchain, road projects bebre and cry tissue road back road projects bebre. I know so you don't want to dance at them, me and son, and also so you the same company worth another 83 million cedis. Within 1 year, Sika Yetuyama Bawumia Nini Nuyanum company si. What's a sin? Eko 280 million cedis. Titisikano 2.18 trillion. Inti ya na oye campaign na wuse ya frefre asofo na ya frefre imams for na ye che sika te se gara na wuni bebi sika ni free bebi sika ni free no taxes. That is where the money is going to. And ye sika na ma wo for projects that offer the state no value for money. Into the air can say, oh Rabba Wumia. Once again, this is another evidence that says onya no kwafo. Osia onyo. Onka no gre. Odi e kanto bebreba odi eni nyina akra ke yemfa nche no. Concrete roads a oka so ba be ya ene ato nsuom ke yemfa nche no. Cape Coast for that do mo se wo si ha bo no airport amomo a ya mu se ye ntro nka yemfa nche no mpo. Entra odu ye about sky train. Entra odi about dollar or say watching out to prison de hon safo ama IGP a ene dollar atwam 16 cedis. Nka yemfa nche no mpo. Asem wa wo kan ye say wo ba be bra. So say why you the very opposite. Wo say wo be bra wo. Wo ba ye so a wo so funu daka na de nam. Enti abusianfo ara wo sem a eda ho no. And a dead pepe say you can't trust anything that comes out from the lips of Bawumia. Onya no kwafo. Opetumia na no de say aboa wo. Nyame de ache no. And the obesho bosisi ye be ma phone no wetua no 1 cedi 2 cedis. And fa won say we dey 100 years kra de betua obehye bo no. But aba ye kwakotu e aba e be define ye ma ene your mama dachi. Enti kwatere kwase obema ntoma no watie ni din. Bosha odi kan share ye no. Ode yakwa kwesisen. De na oye fa ho. So sin de ene ne ya bo no. Auditor General Ankasa the dance ya ba kire say. And the sin no is the norm. 87% of cocoa road projects are buying with Yama contracts in or man competitive tender bia. So how can you believe these people? A BMD sa adansi ye nyina kire ne say. Ebenum free say katajeje ne proye na ekoso na yo mampenya kufuado. Ene ne oferi penyin fie abusua ketewa no nko na ebo ye kro no. Babusuafo ene ye ka mamati asese Bawumia. Wasua adwuma ne yie kra chen ne master. And Bawumia is 10 times more corrupt than Akufuado. People don't know. Feni yafiti ase. We has overpriced sole source road contracts. Yebeka mo ho asem enche. Yebeka PDS, yebeka krono bwa kese a owura Bawumia wa engineer. Emrebe so.
We are back. Now, if you listen to him carefully, you understand that nothing illegal was done. Nothing, absolutely nothing illegal was done. So, Fourth Estate, please, I don't understand. Come on. I was expecting something juicy, but this is just basically, should I say, a poor work done? Because you just pick up information which they published, and you say you have intercepted, you have done an investigation. It was just reports that were public information. Every information you put out there is already in the public. So, how do you call this a scandal? Because let it make sense. Nothing illegal was done here. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Nothing unlawful. They followed due process, so I don't get it. So if you found our content very useful and you enjoyed it, kindly give us, subscribe, put us on post notification, and we shall definitely keep the videos coming. Until then,